terraces were created by the Incas and are still used today. A perfect climate and a good supply of water ensure an abundant harvest. "300 meters above the village, there are the well-maintained and restored ruins of a fascinating fortress that was discovered in 1934. Because the night temperatures are higher here than in Cusco, the Incas chose this area as their center of agriculture. The tropical vegetation makes it easy to forget the high altitude of this valley. The flowering cacti in the isolation of this mountain kingdom are an unforgettable sight. It's not surprising that the Incas chose this fertile valley and for centuries based their culture here. Ancient Pisac was a fortified city that extended across an area that was 5 times larger than Machu Picchu, the largest Peruvian settlement that dates back to pre-Columbus times. Unfortunately, little is known of this Inca metropolis. Excavation here is still far from complete. The ruins of Pisac are situated on a small rock, surrounded by agricultural terraces for which the watering system is quite remarkable. The walls of the buildings and temples were constructed of polished and perfectly fitting stones that were crafted with great skill. It's unknown why this huge complex and all the remnants of this highly developed culture have vanished without trace. In the extreme southeast of Peru, on the western edge of the Amazon basin, is the world's largest national park, made up of rainforest. At 18,000 square kilometers, it's half as large as Switzerland and has become a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Even today, various Indian tribes inhabit the most remote and inaccessible areas of the jungle. Boat is the only way to reach most settlements, or to experience all the magic of the natural landscape. Disturbed by unexpected sound, crocodiles half-heartedly interrupt their siesta and make for shelter in the safety of the water. Hidden within the dense vegetation, There's a flourishing animal and plant kingdom, usually only spotted by those familiar with the jungle. However, 800 species of birds, 13 varieties of monkeys, and innumerable other animals live here. Waterfalls, springs and creeks, at each blink of the eye. Around 1/5 of all the plant species in South America can be found here. River turtles also live in the jungle, as well as the largest rodents in the world, the capybaras. This rare animal can normally only be seen in a zoo. Animals that have already disappeared from some regions still live in the protection of these unique surroundings. Fortunately, many zoological associations and environmental agencies have made it their task to protect this unique area. Also, tourism, with all its attendant disregard for the jungle's wildlife, is a constant problem, and one that is closely monitored. More than 1,200 species live here, and each day nature creates new miracles. Newly hatched butterflies leave their cocoons to experience the world outside. Within the caves and fissures of the clay slopes of the riverbanks, there's a large number of parrots. Darkness falls silently across one of the last paradises on Earth. We continue on the Inca train to the final destination of our journey. The train belches out more and more steam. Metre by metre, the old diesel engine struggles ever upwards. The journey leads into the Cordillera, a barren mountain range that extends from Alaska to Tierra del Fuego. Peru's mountain peaks are up to 6,000 meters high. A bodego doubles as a train station. Here passengers stop for a short break. Precariously, the railway track continues higher and deeper into the Cordillera. The train follows the sacred river of the Incas, the Rio Vilcanota, now known as Urubamba. The train continues its ascent. It's evening when we finally arrive at the highest point on the line. The lost city is mystical and misty. Machu Picchu, an ancient mountain peak. The strange ruins are located high up in the Andes on an almost inaccessible mountain ridge. This place was dedicated to the sun cult. For reasons that are unknown, its people eventually moved elsewhere. The lost city of the Incas is the best known and most famous location. It's estimated that it was built by the Incas in the middle of the 15th century. Much of Machu Picchu has survived because when the Spanish invaders arrived in South America, it had already been abandoned and lay hidden in the remoteness of the mountains. In 1911, the American archaeologist Hiram Bingham discovered this intriguing city. I began to understand that these walls and the semicircular temple are among the most beautiful stone buildings that the world has ever seen, and I was overwhelmed. The words of a man who, not surprisingly, was awestruck by his amazing discovery. The warm light of the first sunbeams announces a new dawn, and like magic, seems to transform the ruins of this mystical city into something that has once more come alive. An eagle's nest is situated in the rock walls of the ancient buildings. In order to survive the harsh climate, the Inca farmers overcame nature's hostility by building artistically terraced slopes on which to grow their food. In the days of the Incas, the hardy llama was used as a pet and farm animal. Today, these llamas still manage to find tough blades of grass in the scant earth. It's not been possible to discover the secret of the Incas' building techniques. The huge stone blocks fit together seamlessly. Due to the huge quantity of building materials used and amazing construction techniques, it's not surprising that this city has been associated with extraterrestrial influences. The terraced hills of the city's plateaus are linked via a number of stone steps. It's estimated that during the 15th century, right up to the time when the Inca nation was at its zenith, around 1,000 people lived here. It's believed that the Inca king, Manco Capac, established the city in this impenetrable mountain area in 1536 as a strategic location from which to attack the Spanish. Ruins are all that remain of the great realm of the Incas. However, these extraordinary people still manage to capture the imagination. Peru is a country full of mystery and ancient history. A land of mountains, desert and jungle. A precious gem on the edge of the world.